Hey everybody, Filmmaker Jay here. I previously had put up a couple of videos about my Japanese animation collection, you know, all the stuff related to anime. But it seemed to me that that was getting way too long, way too boring, way too full of random information, that it just made it into hours and hours of useless crap. And besides, I wouldn't have been able to show you what the rest of my DVD collection is, or the rest of my stuff up here that isn't related to anime, in as easy of a way. It would have just been its own video, which seems kind of unfair. So I'm doing a completely new video, one video of just my DVD collection, because it's just this black shelf here. You know, there's not another shelf over in the corner. So that should make it easy for me to show you my whole collection in hopefully under 10 minutes. So let's see how that goes. Oh, and just to make things a little easier, couple of things you should know. Here, dang it, I'm just gonna bend this down. Okay, now before we get it, whoop, I'll make sure to blur that out. A couple of things you should know about me before we get into this. Number one, I love classic movies. All of them. Anything from the silent era up till the 1970s, I like. I love 80s movies. I'm a very big fan of both the 1960s and the 1980s because I believe those were the two most fun decades for movies, as well as TV shows, at least some of them. I'm also a very big fan of animated movies, and I'm a very big fan of Japanese animated movies and Japanese anime series. Now, you might think that's a little conflicting. I mean, how can I enjoy classic movies and anime? Well, it's because not all of it is a bunch of green-haired boys slapping down trading cards and screaming at the top of their lungs. Even though a lot of you film buffs think that. Okay? Not every anime is like Dragon Ball, Bleach, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Digimon, or all that other stuff. It's just not. In fact, Dragon Ball, not Dragon Ball Z, but Dragon Ball is actually a fun series to watch. So, I think that about covers it, so let's just get in on it. And for the first shelf up here, we have a very important movie. Oh, by the way, yes, there was a fourth thing. Number 4. I love Blu-rays. Because I want to see my favorite movies and great movies in history presented in the clearest, most original quality format that they can be shown in. Anything that's the closest to the original film stock is what I want to see. I want to see all the detail. Okay? Now, if I can't get a movie on Blu-ray, I will most definitely get it on DVD. And if there's a great movie that's out there that somebody just has never thought to put on DVD, then I will buy it on VHS, just because I want to see it. I don't care if it's not clear, I want to see it. But if I can get it in a higher quality, then I will do that. That's how I work. If I can get it in a high quality, I will most definitely go for the high quality every time. Unless it's a poor transfer. Which in some cases, that is how it is. It's just a very poor Blu-ray transfer, so I may get the DVD instead. Now, the first thing we have up here is the Charlton Heston epic Ben-Hur on Blu-ray. This is number 14,878 out of 125,000. Whee! Very nice box set, very beautiful transfer. I love this movie. But I think I love the Ten Commandments just a bit more. I'm not sure. I haven't seen this in a while, but I got this for my birthday last year. Now, to skip with most of the little tidbits of information so we can zoom through this, the first up is the Avatar DVD. I should have got it on Blu-ray, so I'm going to replace it eventually. Another James Cameron film, The Abyss. I still have to get the Terminator films. the Ultimate Matrix Collection on Blu-ray. Sadly, I'm sure the DVDs of this are much better, because these Blu-ray menus are really, really shitty. Sorry to curse for anybody of my family who's watching this, but the Blu-ray menus are just awful. No thought, no skill was put into them at all. Star Trek 11, or Star Trek 2009. Fantastic movie. I love the original film, still gotta get them, but this one is not a bad movie at all. Inception, the other great Christopher Nolan film, as if any of them could not be great. I still haven't seen Memento. Sherlock Holmes, the sequel was a piece of crap, but this one is still quite good. I love the Hans Zimmer soundtrack. Kung Fu Hustle. Now this actually I could get on Blu-ray, but this was a gift, so I will definitely be replacing that later. Strangely enough, I still haven't seen Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, even though I bought this in a bargain bin. Evil Dead 2. Still got to get the others, but this is undoubtedly the best of them all. Another Bruce Campbell flick, Bubba Hotep. Love Bruce Campbell. Here's a film that he starred in and directed, The Screaming Brain, featured on the Sci-Fi Channel. Then we have the original Back to the Future DVD collection. This was one of the first DVDs I ever bought, back when I was 8 years old. Buckaroo Banzai, Across the Eighth Dimension. Now we're getting into the 80s flicks here. I'm going to be getting Flash Gordon from 1980 in a couple of days here, so you'll see that. Last Starfighter. Very wonderful sci-fi film from the 80s. Glad it's on Blu-ray. I can also get these on Blu-ray, The Neverending Story, which I will be doing eventually. Same with The Labyrinth. And never much cared for Baron Munchausen, but I found this in a bargain bin at a flea market, so I figured I should have just gotten it. Pirates of the Caribbean. I actually bought this and Pirates of the Caribbean 2 for exactly $8 with shipping from Amazon each. So very good bargain for those. Rango, another Gore Verbinski. Or is it Verbinski? I keep forgetting that. Damn it, what is it? Verbinski. Yeah, I keep thinking there's an R in there. Hugo, sitting right next to Rango. I actually bought these at the same time. Hugo was a very fantastic film. It's actually one of the only films I've seen that talks about old silent movie filmmakers. I mean, this is a very unique story as a novel and a very unique film. I was very impressed with it. Van Helsing. Some call it bad, some call it good. I call it a guilty pleasure. Hellboy. Have to get this on Blu-ray later. A lot of updates and upgrades I have to do with this collection. The first Harry Potter movie on the big honkin' Blu-ray box. Not a lot of special features. I would have hoped there would have been more, but it's kind of like you have to get all 7 movies to get all the special features, which is a bunch of crap. So I don't know if I'll get all the others, but I am going to get the Chamber of Secrets on Blu-ray. Although my dad did get me all 6 previous films on DVD dual packs here, so I got to watch them all while I was at college. See, there's the Prisoner of Azkaban and the Goblet of Fire, and then the Order of the Phoenix and the Half-Blood Prince. Then we have another of my first DVDs I ever bought, Jason and the Argonauts. Glad that's on Blu-ray. I'm not sure how the quality is. The Ten Commandments, right there with Ben-Hur. And another Charlton Heston movie, which I consider to be his biblical trilogy, or biblically related trilogy, is The Agony and the Ecstasy, a very powerful film about the tortured artist Michelangelo. Very, very enjoyable film. I had a personal connection with this, actually. The Good and the Bad and the Ugly. Finally took a look at that a few weeks ago. I bought it actually last year. Doctor Strangelove on the Blu-ray book. You know, there's a lot of things being released with these books, which is quite unique. There's not too many of them, but there's more than I thought. There's actually the North by Northwest on a Blu-ray book, which I'll be getting later. A personal favorite film from the 1950s, we have The Tea House of the August Moon. I would suggest if you're an anime fan, you might want to check out this classic film where Marlon Brando plays a Japanese man. Not a bad performance, actually, at least in my opinion. Here's another big favorite of mine, The Journey to the Center of the Earth, with James Mason and Pat Boone. Look. Yeah, we have a lenticular cover here, which, oh, it does work in the camera, at least a little bit. Yeah, okay. Goldfinger. This is actually not my favorite James Bond film. My favorite is You Only Live Twice, which is another film related to Japanese. It takes place in Japan. It hasn't been ever released on Blu-ray, but with this new giant Bond Blu-ray set, I'm pretty sure they finally got it on Blu-ray, so they should be releasing them individually later. The Pink Panther Blu-ray. Hope they get A Shot in the Dark and The Return of the Pink Panther on Blu-ray too, because those were the only other good ones in my opinion. This is, I believe, my 4th favorite movie ever. This is another, oh, what's the name? Blake Edwards. This is another Blake Edwards movie from the 1960s. It's a very underrated comedy film starring Tony Curtis and Jack Lemmon and Natalie Wood. Very hilarious race movie. You know, there was a lot of car chases and racing related movies like the Love Bug and the Herbie films, and well, actually this one had a little bit of a race at the end of it. This is a Vincent Price film with Frankie Avalon and Dwayne Hickman from the Beach movies around the same time. Dr. Goldfoot and the Bikini Machine. Probably the most 60s movie ever, in my opinion. Then we have my small but growing Hitchcock collection. We have Rebecca, To Catch a Thief, which you'll learn a little bit why I bought this on the second shelf, and Psycho, all on Blu-ray. I think they have all of the Hitchcock movies on Blu-ray except for Rear Window, which was my other major favorite. Now, those are the main live-action films that I have. The rest of them are down below, but they're not my favorites. They're just kind of the extra bunch. A lot of westerns, actually. But now we're getting into the animated films, starting with a whole bunch of Disney flicks. Most of which I did manage to get on Blu-ray. Many more coming out in August and September. So we have Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. This actually is a DVD and Blu-ray set with the DVD cases. I hate it when they do that. I don't know what the point is of having a DVD case and a Blu-ray case for the same content, but it's just weird. Pinocchio. This is actually a bit hard to get these days because eventually they run out of copies and they raise the price. Same with Fantasia. I've never seen this movie all the way through until a couple of months ago, and it's now one of my favorite Disney movies ever, just because the Blu-ray shows the grandeur and the magnificence of all the animation done for that film. Dumbo. This also is on Blu-ray now, but I bought the DVD before I found out the Blu-ray was available. Three Caballeros. Bambi, another great Blu-ray release from Disney. Yes, I do own I'm pretty sure this is a legal copy of Song of the South. This is not a bootleg. It's from a company who has got the rights to produce it. And look at that, I just killed Cinderella. That was nice. Whoopsie daisy. Alright, so now let's move to the second shelf. Alright, moving right along. Another favorite, Alice in Wonderland on Blu-ray. Another favorite, Sleeping Beauty on Blu-ray. Wonderful, wonderful film, especially since it's the widest widescreen Disney movie ever made as far as I know, because it's in Technorama 70. Very big format. Lady and the Tramp. I have yet to see this Blu-ray edition yet, even though I got it in the mail a couple of weeks ago. The first of many live-action Disney movies. I don't have any others besides this, but this is the Computer Wore Tennis Shoes, a wonderful Walt Disney teen comedy from 1966, I believe. The Rescuers. They're just about to release the Blu-ray of both The Rescuers and The Rescuers Down Under, I believe on August 28th. Very excited about that. Robin Hood. I don't think they have an announcement for that yet. Although this is on Blu-ray already. The original 1982 Tron. Didn't care much for the sequel. Kind of a letdown with that one. Who Framed Roger Rabbit? One of the greatest films of all time. A big technical masterpiece, rather. No clue as to if they're ever going to get a Blu-ray of that anytime soon. They're going to I believe Disney has to agree with Warner Brothers on the rights to release anything else of it, because it has their characters. Beauty and the Beast. This is my mom's DVD because we bought her the Blu-ray a little while ago. Treasure Planet. I didn't think I would ever live to see the day this was on Blu-ray, or rather I didn't think it would come so soon, but this is one of my favorite Disney movies ever, right up there with Fantasia. I'm so excited to have it on Blu-ray finally. The Incredibles. Next to Ratatouille and Wall-E, this is my third favorite Pixar film, also on Blu-ray. Now we're getting to the features, the anime features. Starting with an American release animated by Japanese animators. This is Little Nemo Adventures in Slumberland from TMS Entertainment, Tokyo Movie Shinsha. Tokyo Movie Shinsha are the same people that brought you the animation for the Batman animated series, Animaniacs and Tiny Toons, and I believe they did the Superman animated series, and they were involved in the Teen Titans series as well. There's a couple of other TMS stuff you'll see coming up here. Steam Boy. This is by the same people that brought you Akira. I consider this a fairly decent film. Metropolis, based upon the original Osamu Tezuka manga, which was based on the what's his name? Crap, I forget the guy who did the original Metropolis. Summer Wars, a big film festival masterpiece. Did very well all over the world, it seems. This film I have no opinion on. I've yet to see it, but I was told somewhere that this was an influence to Hayao Miyazaki. I may be wrong on that, so if anybody does know that for sure, please tell me. It's Panda and the Magic Serpent. Okay, now we're getting to some Toei Animation Studio stuff. We have Animal Treasure Island and The Wonderful World of Puss in Boots, which were both worked on by, if you can see at the top there, Isao Takahata and Hayao Miyazaki did animation for both of these, because they worked at that company in their early days. So that leads us directly into, well, we also have another Isao Takahata Hayao Miyazaki production, the Panda Go Panda, 2 short films from, I believe, the 1970s. Now we get into Miyazaki. We have Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind on Blu-ray. I'm about to get Castle in the Sky on Blu-ray in a couple of days here, so you're seeing this before it gets in my collection. I'll be giving that DVD to my sister. Kiki's Delivery Service. You all know about these, right? No need to explain. Porco Rosso. I don't have Totoro yet, but I do have Princess Mononoke. That should be on Blu-ray eventually here. I also put the soundtracks of films next to their films in here. So I did buy Princess Mononoke's soundtrack. Whisper of the Heart is also on Blu-ray, along with Castle in the Sky because of the Arrietty release. And then Howl's Moving Castle, my second favorite Miyazaki film, with Castle in the Sky being the first. Now we get into my favorite anime series, probably my most favorite franchise ever. This franchise
was worked on by both Hayao Miyazaki and Isao Takahata. It is also inspired by an original novel series back in the day, that novel series being this right here, Arsène Lupin by Maurice Leblanc. And this series was originally sparked off by this manga, Lupin the Third. So that's right, folks. We have just about every Lupin the Third related thing you can get in the U.S. except for the Red Jacket series by Geneon and Pioneer. So first up, we have a Discotek Media release, a very unprecedented release from them, of the original 1971 Lupin the Third TV series, which halfway through its production was worked on by both Hayao Miyazaki and Isao Takahata. Then we have the unusual live-action film produced in 1974. The first Lupin the Third animated feature, The Mystery or The Secret of Mamo, on VHS. I bought the VHS because I wanted to hear the alternative English dub, which to this day there are 4 English dubs, 3 in America and 1 in the UK. This is also the same exact dub as this VHS on DVD. This is the Geneon Pioneer dub, made in 2005. This one was made in 1994. There is also another made in 1980. And then there was another made in 1996 in the UK, which this is the UK DVD. However, I found out that this dub is the exact same one they used on the UK DVD, even though Manga Entertainment has its own UK dub from '96. There is going to be a brand new DVD release with all 4 English dubs on it from Discotek, which I'm very excited about because that's an unprecedented thing too. Then we have my favorite movie of all freaking time, The Castle of Cagliostro, the second Lupin the Third movie. That's the original VHS with its Streamline Pictures English dub from 1994. And then we have the 2000 release with the Manga Entertainment dub. That's the original DVD. This is the special edition. I do have another video up that explains what the differences is between these, but I have no time to explain that at the moment. Then we have 2 soundtracks related to Lupin the Third. We have the limited edition Cagliostro soundtrack with the third TV series soundtrack, which has songs that were written and rewritten for this film. So some of the songs that were in this film are on this soundtrack, and then some of the songs are on this soundtrack, but alternate versions are mixed between them, so if you want to get everything, you should get both of those. Then we have 2 episodes of the Red Jacket series from 1977 to 1982. These 2 episodes here were directed by Hayao Miyazaki under a pseudonym. This is the third Lupin the Third movie, The Legend of the Gold of Babylon, probably the least appreciated Lupin movie. It's not a fan favorite, but I particularly have a fondness for it. Here's another Discotek release. They're currently the only people releasing Lupin the Third stuff still in the US, although with the new Fujiko Mine series, Funimation might be picking that up for a DVD and or Blu-ray release. This is the Fuma Conspiracy, the 4th Lupin the Third movie. Now, Discotek may be releasing the films that came out between 1989 and 1992, but after those, we have the 10 releases by Funimation, which kind of bridge the gap. First we have Voyage to Danger, Dragon of Doom, Farewell to Nostradamus, which is another TMS film made by the same people who did Little Nemo and who also did Tiny Toons and Animaniacs. Pursuit of Harimao's Treasure, Dead or Alive, which I actually own a wall scroll of over there. Secret of the Twilight Gemini, Island of Assassins, Crisis in Tokyo, my second favorite Lupin movie, actually my third favorite, The Columbus Files, and Missed by a Dollar. Gotta squeeze these over here. Okay, so that finishes up the second shelf. Let's move on down to the third shelf.